Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Motivational Manifestation Mondays. Oh my gosh, do you know it's almost been a year? It's almost been a year, and I was only going to do it for the summer. It's caught on, and it makes my week. It definitely makes my week, and it makes my week to see you all. It's really cool. Let me adjust my chair. There we go. It makes me happy to see you all each Monday. So thank you for showing up. And Paul, thank you for showing up because it was funny because I was thinking about you this past weekend, and I thought I'm going to have to send Paul a meeting invite, and then you showed up. Thank you,
Well,
sir.
I know I was 2 weeks ago, I was on spring break with my son, and then I had a bad week last week, and I just said, I need this today.
Awesome.
So
We'll get you pumped up. That'll be our job. And LB, welcome. Thanks for coming back. We're glad to have you back. Angie, welcome. Don, let's see who else is here. Amay is here. There's a few people that are not on screen. Hey, Amay. And Angie, let's see, Don, Lee's here, and Susan Greenberg. So awesome. Thank you guys for showing up today. Today I wanted to talk about focus. Every now and then we talk about different things, and literally I have a sheet of paper for every one of these because I'm always trying to figure out what do I want to talk on and focus on and bring into your awareness and attention so that you can start manifesting the things you want to manifest. And it's important that we talk about focus because when our focus is unclear or wishy-washy, then our results match that. Our results totally match that. But when we are clear, when we are very specific, and are able to define, so to speak, what it is that we're looking for, it makes the universe and God, it makes it easy for universe and God to make it show up in our lives. And that means that we're also putting out a vibrational frequency that matches that, that's congruent with that thing that we're looking for. So what I know to be true is that what you focus on expands. Let me repeat that. It is so important. What you focus on expands. If you are focused on lack, or there's not enough of something, there's not enough clients, there's not enough money, there's not enough yeses, there's not enough, whatever your focus is on the not enough, it's just going to keep expanding. And you're going to see more and more ways that it meets your expectation and what you've said in your mind or even out loud. Like, oh, there's not enough clients. There's just not enough people ready to move, or there's not enough people who are looking for my service. No, they haven't, their vibration isn't matching yours because they're looking for you. They're looking for you, but they haven't matched your vibration because you're on another wavelength, totally different wavelength. So what have you been putting your focus on this past week? Paul, you mentioned you had a rough week last week. I don't think that was the exact word you used, but where was your focus? Was it how things weren't going quite right? I'm just curious.
it
Would you
just, I don't know, is it just a jump? I mean, it's a domino effect. One thing went wrong, another thing went wrong, another thing. And so I just kind of, I don't know if I attribute it to the week I took off with my son on spring break and just kind of didn't work the business like I should have. But hey, I'm on vacation.
right?
And then I tried to correct it last week and I got some of it, but it's still, and so I lost almost $2 million in loans.
Ooh,
So just for other reasons, some of them beyond my control. And
sure.
it hurts, it hurts. I've been doing this 22 years and I've never lost that much volume in a week's time. And
Yes.
so I just got to refocus. And I just said, you know what, it is what it is. It's the business, and I can't dwell on it. And I
Right.
heard a quote. God, I'm trying to think of what it says. It just you just got to keep going because we're gonna be told no more times than not. But all we need is just a few yeses, and those yeses are
Fair.
gonna outweigh the.
Mhm.
So doing this 22 years, I still, we still get down. I still get down on myself thinking, man, I should be getting every deal. But, it's just the business has changed.
Try being a real estate agent today.
Oh, I know, dude. I trust me. I know, man. So, yeah.
We're under fire with battleships and everything coming at us. So
I, Yeah.
guys are in the same industry, so that you could, yeah, definitely share some stories, I'm
Well,
sure.
it's funny. We're in the same industry, but at the same point in time, people will always need a mortgage. There's a big push now that they don't need really that we don't need to exist anymore. That we are a dinosaur and we should be gotten rid of. And so
No,
it's a big deal going on right now.
yeah, no, I disagree on that, man. You know that. So
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I'd rather have an expert. I don't want to have to be an expert in everything. Yeah, it's hard enough. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
So yeah, so Tom, don't buy into that, okay? That's maybe
yeah,
what
no,
some
Tom.
people are saying, but do not buy into that because it is not the truth. And you're going to have to remind yourself, cancel, that is not the truth. You know, they need experts like me with experience like me who've
Right,
seen things like me. And same for you,
right.
Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
absolutely.
know.
Nobody
I
can
know. It's just
nobody can bring to the table your experiences and your knowledge. So, you know, there may be people who are in the similar industries and things, but your unique experiences and your ability to read the room, so to speak, or the gut feeling, you know, those may have been great big contracts, you know, however, they may not have been ideal. And what we want
right.
is
Exactly. Yeah.
ideal relationships in our lives. We want ideal relationships where it works for all parties and we walk away loving one another, you know, kind of thing. It's like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
ideal. That's what we're looking for. So, yeah. So, you know, I would encourage you this week, Paul, you gave us such a great example. I would encourage you to anytime what the negative thoughts that are associated around those $2 million of contracts, you just push it aside and just let it go. Just let it go and say, this is a
Yeah.
new week and a new day, and we're starting from here because that is in the past and we can't control the past. We can only
Yeah.
control today. We can do something about today and about tomorrow and being
Yeah.
prepared for
Yeah.
tomorrow. And that's true for all of us. You know, for every one of us, if we didn't get the sale, or, you know, I know Dawn's in HR, and so, you know, things might not have rolled real well last week on Friday because everybody dumps everything on her on Friday. And so, and so if that's the case, you know, we pick up today and we start fresh and we start new.
Right.
And I really want to encourage you all to take a moment, and if you take any notes during this session, this is a great place to write this question down and reflect on it and answer it. And the question is, what is working? What is working in your lives and in your business? What is working? Because when we stop and look at what's working in our lives, then we are activating the positive vibration of, you know, of positivity and bringing more and getting more in alignment with ourselves. Perfect. And then answering that question, what is working? Once you brainstorm the answer to that, because there is a lot working in our lives, an awful lot working in our lives. I mean, just we are all on the screen today. And you know what? If we're not on the screen, we might be 6 feet under. And let me tell you, that might be working for you too, depending on your situation. But we are all okay. and and we're healthy and we look good. And even those that I can see that are not on camera, I can see you're there. So I know you're there. And that is above the ground, and that is ideal. So what is working?
Cheryl,
Yes.
it's Susan. If I could add two quick thoughts on that. That is an awesome question. And it is one, I have a team and I do monthly accountabilities. And that's one of the questions I ask them. And even though I've started doing it a while ago, it still always freaks them out. Like, why are you asking me this? And again, to your point, it's let's keep doing the good stuff. We'll figure out what we need to do with the other opportunities, but let's focus on what's working and keeping it going.
Absolutely. I agree completely, Susan. Thank you. And that's a great idea. If you have a team of people that you're working with, to ask them what is working. The sister question to that is, it's not what's wrong. It's what's not quite right yet. And there's the opportunity to figure out, what do I need to tweak? What do I need to change? What do I need to add? And so when we look at what's not quite right yet, there's no blame. It's just not quite right yet. So
And
go ahead, Susan.
I was just going to say that the companion to, or another way to say that also is, what are your obstacles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good too. Absolutely. And remember that, the thing is where we're focusing on, what we're focusing on expands. So if we're focusing real heavily on what's not going right or the obstacles, they're going to expand. And in reality, they may not need that kind of attention. They may not be that important. And when we're focusing more on what's working, then we have, that's the opportunity for that to expand. There's an energetic component that I've talked about before, and I'll mention again now, is that we get into a vibration, and that vibration really is looking for a match. So when we are dwelling on, that thing that's going well, that big ticket sale, or that coaching and counseling session with an employee that went well, and now that you're seeing the behavior change and so forth, or that warm reception you receive when you walk into a new place to sell them a product, then, when you focus on that, you get more of it. So it's the expansiveness of it. And all you have to do is relive it in your mind. Even if it's never happened to you before. Let's say it's your first time in sales and you're going in to sell something, and paper clips, I don't know, widgets, whatever it might be. And you don't really know, but if you can imagine how it could go in the most positive way, you are literally seeding the universe with good vibrations, so you can have that back. You can get it back, mirrored back to you. And so I think it's real important that we pay attention to what we're paying attention to. That sounded like something weird, but pay attention to what you're paying attention to, and be intentional about where you're putting your energy and your focus and your intention. So let's hear from a few of you and hear about what went well last week. What did you manifest that was I know Susan's always got stuff. She's manifesting. So let me call on you, Susan.
I'd love to share real quick. As you know, I'm on my drive before I have to hang up, and I'm super, super excited. So first of all, and again, to kind of Thomas's note and things, is one of the things, especially when you're in the service industry, is when you do something well, everybody thinks it's easy and they don't give it as much credit. So again, in real estate, the value you bring to the table, you make it look so easy. They're like, oh, I can do that. And they have no clue of all the things you've done behind the scenes to make that happen.
Right.
So on the manifestation, and I'm really, really proud of this, and I'm going to give a shout out to Lisa Beth, who's on the call right now too, is a year ago, I did our first International Women's Day panel for Zonta. It was a huge success. We had a very diverse panel, and it was an extremely well attended and great information, great awareness event. I put a blueprint together to do that event again, and two of the other women executed it this Sunday, and it made my heart sing because it was a huge success again, and they took it to a new level. And just knowing that, again, that was the seed that I planted, and they took it and they ran with it. And Lisa Beth was one of our panelists and our keynote for it. So thank you.
That's awesome. Congratulations. She's sending you hearts. Stay focused on the road, okay? That's awesome. Oh, congratulations. I know that was a huge, huge project. I'm so glad it went so well. Congratulations. Very well, very well. So who else created something last week? I'd love to hear from you. Oh, Amay, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Cheryl. Thanks. It's great to hear Susan's thought. Thank you. Congrats, Susan. And thank you, Cheryl, for reminding us to focus on what we want and be specific. And it really resonated this morning as I was thinking about what I manifested last week and how it came to fruition. I manifested a good visit to a new doctor of functional medicine, right, to see how I'm functioning and improve my functioning as I age. And I was very open to it. Nervous, yep, a little bit, um, and questions all around me, why getting this opinion and so forth. But I did that test that you taught us the first day I met you years ago. Like, you should do it, and like your body sways forward, and
This way test.
so my body, this way test. Yes. Thank you for teaching us that. And so, the sway test told me that, yep, I should get out the car and I should go into the office and be open and listen. And I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful I went, and it was a time to hear, all these good things that I can do to improve my functioning. And one of the most interesting parts was that she recommended like we often hear, correct, meditate, but really to truly be quiet for 30 minutes every day and help decrease your cortisol. And gosh, it just makes such a difference. So I was really manifesting, attending, listening, taking care of me, and I've done that, since I left there. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this class because it kind of helps me be accountable to myself too for what I manifest. So thank you so much, Cheryl.
You're so welcome. Thank you for that report. Absolutely. So Don typed in the chat, what's the sway test? I figured that was going to come up. I was like, but doesn't everybody know the sway test? No, you don't. So the sway test is a way to bypass your executive function brain where it wants to weigh everything out, the positive, the negative, and what is it? Your internal compass knows what's best for you. I call it your higher self. And your higher self, and actually, if you're not driving, those of you who are driving, please don't stand up in the car, but you can all do it with me, and I'll teach you it very quickly. Okay. So if you will, stand up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And what I want you to do is put your feet very comfortably, not too far apart, but maybe about 6 or 8 inches apart, with your hands loosely down by your side. Okay. And then I want you to take a deep breath and just relax. Blow it all out and let the tension out. Okay. And then what I want you to do is close your eyes and say, show me a yes. Okay. So close your eyes and just watch where your body goes. Say, show me a yes. And your body will sway in one direction or another. It may sway in circles. Now don't fall over, but catch yourself. All right. Okay. Point in the direction in which your body swayed. Front, forward. Okay. Okay. Paul went to the left. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So now I want you to repeat the same thing. And I want you to say, show me a no. Close your eyes and say, show me a no. Show me a no. Okay. Did you get a different response? Okay, open your eyes. How many people swayed forward for a yes? How many people, show of hands? Almost everybody went forward for a yes. Okay, and Angie, which direction did you go in? You went back. Okay, how many people swayed back for their no? Or got a different response than the yes? Did you get a different response than the yes? Yes. Okay, great. You went, sideways. Okay. So the thing is your body is a compass, basically. It is a pendulum. You know how you see people do pendulums over things sometimes? Pendulums work the exact same way, except for your body is the pendulum. So when you're trying to make a decision, you can use your body. You can use your body for a yes and a no answer. So initially, that's how I started using muscle test. This is called muscle testing or applied kinesiology. And now I use my fingers and I pull them against one another and get a yes or a no. My yes is when my fingers don't go through. My no is when they slide through. And this is like I swayed both forward. Okay, wait a minute. I'm reading it. There we go. I swayed forward both for yes and for no. Okay, Lee. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes we're not super hydrated. And sometimes that has something to do with it. So if we've had a lot of coffee today and we haven't had any water, we might get a weird response, meaning the same response for the answer for both yes and no. But muscle testing will tell you what is ideal for your being. Okay, so you can look to yourself to get answers when you don't know. And when I first started learning to muscle test this way, I spent 8 months on trying to muscle test for myself and get it accurate. I'm 99% accurate for myself and for others now. I can test for you and get a yes or no answer. What is to your highest and best good is always where I start. So, and what is to my highest and best good, and ask yes or no questions. And that helps me see what's going on in the background, where the programming is, where I might have some programming that's unsupportive or not helpful, kind of thing. So the muscle testing is your own barometer that's never going to lie to you. It won't make stories up because you're asking yes or no questions. And you get an answer, a true, honest answer. And so you can practice that. And then eventually, if you want to learn to muscle test like this, you can. My very first experience was in college when I went to a chiropractor who was also a nutritionist. And I had tons of allergies that I was always on some kind of allergy medicine. And he said, hold your arm out. And I think it was to the front, as I recall. And he put 2 fingers on my wrist and pushed down and told me to hold. And then he said, say your name and hold. And I did. And my arm was strong. He said, say your name is Brenda. My name is Brenda. And he was using the same pressure and I couldn't hold my arm up because it was not the truth. It was a lie. And I started laughing and I said, do that again. And it came out, my arm went weak. There was just nothing I could do to hold it up. And so that was how we identified what I was allergic to. At that point, I was allergic to cats, carrots, and cedar. And so I had to avoid cats and carrots. 3 things, yeah.
3 C's.
Oh, Reese. Oh, interesting.
3 C's. Yeah.
So that was super helpful. And so cats I'm still allergic to, but I can eat carrots now. But I'm not allergic to cedar anymore, which is awesome. So we did some things about that to fix that. But you can use that to gain insight from yourself. And if things are in alignment, or people even in alignment sometimes, but usually it's about what's to your best and highest good. That's always the question I start with. So that's the sway test. So if something is not feeling like it's to your highest and best good, then it's probably not. And especially if you use the sway test and choose something else, just choose not to engage in it, because in the long run, it might not turn out so good, but because your higher self knows, right? Okay. So what else did someone manifest this week? Yes, Lisa Beth.
I have a question about the manifesting, but I first wanted to ask Tom, because I was on the call for the first time last week. Your husband went to an audition. How'd it go?
Thanks.
Oh, Lord. It actually went very well, but no answer. Don't know what's happened at this point. He had the audition part went very well, and then he actually had an interview that he was not expecting. But that also went very well. And but who knows when you hear? And unfortunately, in that world, it can take weeks, if not months, before you hear something back. So just keep your fingers crossed. Keep sending out good vibes.
Absolutely.
Well, I would think of him now and then and cheer him on. So I'm still cheering on.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yes. So my question, Cheryl, I'm sure like everybody on the call, I'm really good at manifesting. I'm a manifestor. I'm good at that. But right now I'm working on 5, 6, 7 projects. And so with that, like you say, focus on one thing. Well, I have clients I have not on our watch. I have Texas Women in Business. I have all these things that I focus on. What is your strategy when it's almost like you're a pinball and I'm getting little manifestations, but I need those wins. So what's your recommendation when there's so many things to focus on?
I think I have the same problem. Got our women's retreat coming up. I'm starting coaching circles, 6-month long coaching circles, so people manifest the things they want and I can coach them and help them along the way. So I get it. I totally get it. So I think the ideal way of approaching that is to win instead of I'm a little bit like a squirrel. I don't know if you are, and it's like, oh, shiny object, I gotta go, kind of thing. So it's like, oh, this needs my attention, but that needs my attention. If you can slow down enough to stay focused on that thing and do whatever needs to be done on that item for right now, and then stop. And before you move on to the next thing, because you're carrying some of that energy to the next thing, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it becomes a distraction because you're like trying to deal with it over here while you're now over here. And so if you can just stop and imagine that project, that item, whatever it may be, completed, and get into the emotion of it completed, feeling it completed, then even if you've never done it before, imagine what it would feel like, and then go from there. I think that's gonna help pull you along, kind of thing. We're never done. The journey just keeps
Right.
going. So it's it's kind of like the manifestations. There may be small wins, but be clear about what you're looking for. Sometimes like the big end result can't come right now, right? But we want to using our imagination and getting into the vibe of completion, that helps it manifest the way we want it to. And I always say this or something better.
Right, I do
Because
too.
I don't know, maybe I'm limited in which I know I am, in my imagination. So
I always do that because I know I only have my limited view of what could happen, and God or the universe or whoever you want to call it has the full,
right. And
anything.
is possible.
And I'm just looking with my little,
Yep.
perspective.
Yeah.
But I like that. So it's one, I'm on that project, be focused on that project. And before I move on to the next one, literally just focus on it, manifest it, see it in completion, get all the feelings, all the good stuff, and then shut that one and go on to the next one. So each one is getting its own focus. Okay, I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The more that you can, and it may not be full completion, it may be whatever this step is completed, right?
Right.
So yeah, so either or, but as much detail as you can imagine in it, do
Thank
that.
you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool. So what are we gonna do? It's 9:30 already. Oh, so fast. It goes so fast, folks. It goes so fast. So my commitment is to always try to start and end on time as much as possible. But what I want to encourage you to do is write down what you want to manifest this week. Be highly specific, highly specific. And as I'm trying to, just as an example. So I've decided that this week I want Google reviews. I want 5-star Google reviews. So if you're feeling inclined, you can go to Simply the Best Results and write me a Google review. I only want 5 stars though. Okay, 5 stars. No, I'm kidding. Well, not yeah, but anyway. So that was one of the things that I'd like to manifest this week, and because I forget to do anything with Google, and yet it is a very helpful research tool for folks, and I use it all the time, as I'm sure you do too. But yeah, so that was just one of the things that I can clearly see what that looks like, right? How it would manifest, what would it look like, and so forth. So be clear about and specific about what you want to create this week, even if it's a little wishy-washy on the total outcome, right? So I don't know exactly what words I want in that Google review. However, I know that I want 5 stars, and that is very clear. So be as clear as you can be and imagine the emotion or the feeling that you'll feel so that you're in the vibration of it and you can attract it to you. So thank you all for showing up this week. We will be here again at the same bat time and same bat channel next week. And know that everything is always working in your favor. And I'm so glad you came today. Thank you so much.